couple of short anecdotes on Juliana because it's hot. So, they say, experts tell us lately, that really there's not that much difference, really, between the genders other than cultural. But under my observation over the years, it seems somehow little girls tend to take an interest in the furniture of domestic life a lot sooner than little boys do. And it was the case with Juliana, as I recall. There was a day when she couldn't have been more than about 4 years old. We had just moved to the big White House, Victorian, in Arlington, Mass. And I was shelving books in the newly reconstituted library when she sidled up to me. And I guess she'd noticed that every well-appointed house in the 1980s anyway was supposed to have, the husband and the wife in it. And so she decided she was interested in this enterprise. But I, unfortunately, was the only man in that little household. So she proposed that we should get married. Well, I've heard a lot of interesting proposals, but I wasn't ready for that one, and I was trying to buy time. So I said, well, sweetie, that's really nice, but I'm already married to your mom. Well, that did stop her, but only for a few moments. To which she replied, well, yes, but that was before you met me. You see then, there's a certain amount of tenacity of purpose in her making. And it was underscored about a year or so later when we had our tradition of saying evening prayers with our daughters. And when those were almost done, I noticed that something was different this time. Against her bed was her backpack, ready for something, I knew not what. And before we could leave, she said, I want you to wake me up at midnight. I said, oh, really? And why? Well, my best friend and I down the block, we're going to go to the bridal shop. I said, well, honey, these dresses, they're pretty expensive, and that's more than your allowance. And besides, at midnight, the store will be closed. She fixed me with one of those looks that says, Dad, you're particularly dense tonight. That's why we're going at midnight. So you see a pattern here, a person who really knows when she decides what she wants, she's going to keep focused. And fortunately for everybody concerned, she wants Andrew. So and Andrew, of course, is from a good family, lots of affection and love there, obviously. Moreover, he's scientific and he has to be disciplined in his pursuits. So, of course, that raises the only question is how are these people who possibly both have strong wills are going to get along? The only thing that mystifies me is they've been lovey-dovey. This is like the third year. It's almost frightening. So if anybody had a good start in this enterprise, they are the ones. And we're wishing them well on their voyage to the Mediterranean shortly from now. And on the voyage that's going to take many years later, we wish them 100 anni.